Hi friends, it's Nancy. A little Etsy update. So as I've been tidying up my studio, I'm finding new things that they need to go to a new home. I'm being absolutely ruthless with myself. This vintage postcard we saw in the previous video, but for some reason I didn't upload it to Etsy. So this one is postmarked 1915. It has a little rabbit with yellow roses. This one has lilies and forget-me-nots and a big silver cross, and has a silvered greeting here, Joyful Easter. And it is postmarked 1909. Yeah, that's a Canadian stamp. And this one, oh, it has, I don't know, I'll have to bring it right up. You see the teeny tiny little bunny there? And this is embossed. This is an egg shape that's embossed, and some embossed lilies, and sort of an iris kind of thing. And I'm looking for a date. 1916. These are Easter greeting cards. They're all vintage. They've not been used. This one, I love this one with the angels in the gold. And one thing I like about vintage cards is they always have these little images on the back. This one's got this purple foil. Oops. And again, I love this image. And another on the back. Final one has forget-me-nots and red tulips. So I believe these are all lithographed in Canada. Yep. And they're pretty much the same size. Okay, moving on. I have these strips of labels, and they were on a roll, and they were perforated. I had a ruler here someplace. Where's my ruler? So they were perforated every 7 5/8, 7 11/16 inches. And they're gummed on the back. And I have 10 pieces in each package. Clearly they are vintage. I have no idea of a date, or I know chicks used to be shipped like in cardboard boxes, so I'm thinking this was the tape that sealed the boxes. Isn't that horrible? I have some tea card books, and they are full. So these would be 1960s. And this one has all wild animals. And like I said, it's completely full. So this was a premium from Red Rose Tea. Belonged to Kathy. I have 2 of those that I will be listing. And I have 2 of Tropical Birds. Oh, it's pretty. This one says 1963. This one says, doesn't say. This one says 1963. So it has all pretty bright colored birds. That's pretty. So I have two of those. Next I have some vintage stationery, I guess you would call it. So I have these Progressive Euchre scorecards. I've put 10 in a pack, and they come in various colors. They're about the size of an index card. I don't know, like Euchre might be a Canadian game, or I don't think you're born knowing, or else you don't get a Canadian passport, right? Maybe there are some people that play this in the US. I understand that Euchre is similar to whist. Yeah. Anyway, they're blank on the back, so they're good for making journal cards or tags, and just something different. In the same vein of cards, I have, this is a pack of 12 table tallies. So this is in the original packaging. This one's Carlton cards. This one is Hallmark, and this one has 12. The package was a mess, so I just ripped the package apart, and that's what it looks like inside. So those would make cute little booklets. I'll put some pages in there and staple them in or sew them in. They're each all same, so there's 12 of each in each package. I have lots of bridge score pads. So these are long and thin. These were printed in the US. I have these other long, thin ones, and they've got like sort of a bead glued on them to make them three-dimensional, and the printing is green. So I have 4 of those. Oh, those are little shells. Yeah, I think they're all little shells. That's interesting. And then I have lots of these Royal Bank ones, and the date on these are 1968. So these are the Royal Bank of Canada. So I think I will be listing these in pairs. So 2 at one price. I have some Denison stuff. So I have these photo corners, unopened. These ones are all ivory, so I have 4 of those. I have these Denison postal labels, 5.5 by 3 inches, and I've got quite a few of those. Next up, I've got that's more bridge score pads. This one has got a cute little vintage girl on there. Here's a gold and a silver one. Oh, cat hair. Ugh. So sorry. Just seeing if there's a date on there. I don't see it. And of course it's in French and English. These ones were a giveaway from Tippett Richardson Movers. These have got to be an age because I've never heard of Tippett Richardson, but they had a whole bunch of offices. So those are them. Then I have these little refills. So these have 50 sheets. I think these are plain. They aren't ruled. Yeah. They're plain. They have 6 holes. They are, I don't know, 5 by 3. Let's measure. 5, almost 6 by 3.5. Yeah, these are the same size and they say 6 by 3.5. These ones are lined and has the 6 holes. These ones are 5 by 3 and their holes are at the top. So I have several of those. I have an unopened package of airmail envelopes. So there's 18 envelopes in there. And they were made in Canada for Boots drugstores. We don't have Boots drugstores anymore, I don't think. And I have, oh, look at that. I have this vintage airmail paper. It's very much like onion skin. So it's very, very thin. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. This one is pale blue. And again, it's that really, really thin like an onion skin or a tracing paper sort of size. And next I have these budget books. These are from the 1940s. So, yeah, 1947. So it talks about how to make a budget. And they're nice pages. They're quite thick and nicely colored. I'm guessing, I have no idea how many pages are in here. I wonder if it says. No, there's got to be at least 50 pages in there. So this person put that's very interesting. So the income was $50 a week, and rent was $30 for a month. That's very good. So I have 3 of those. I have some more vintage paper. So these are all blank, 8 3/8 by 5 7/16, and they have 3 holes. So I've got 1, 2, 3 of those, and this is the same size. Maybe I'm not. And then I have these ledger books. They're maybe 8.5 by 5.5, I'm guessing. Well, let's compare it. Maybe 9 by 5. And never been used. I mean, you can hear it cracking as I open it. Pale green with like a dark gold lines and darker green lines. So I have 7 of those. And now I have, for your consideration, I have made these bags. They're tags. Tag bags. I've done a little bit of collage with some paper, some ink. I've sewed a little bit of trim here, and I made the tag bags themselves out of ledger paper. So this actually vintage ledger paper, double layer of it. And I think I've got 15 of them all together. And inside is 10 pieces of ephemera, or not ephemera, but page elements that I've made. So I've left one untied. This is vintage seam binding, and there's a yard of seam binding holding these all closed. And they just unfold like that, make a little pocket, and let's see what's in here. So these are things I've made, and I've just put them away and then never use them. So I've got these two little teacups. They're fabric and they're stitched, and I used vintage book page to make them hardier. This is a specimen card that I made recently. Here's a little die cut mason jar, stamped and die cut, made out of vintage book page. I put a little label and some cheesecloth on there. This is a page out of a field guide about birds, and I've just adhered it to a piece of ledger and added some fiber here and a little tab at the top. This is a double tag that has places to journal, and it has it's made out of book page, and I've decoupaged napkin on top of it, and it has baker's twine at the top. This is a tiny little seed envelope. It's empty, but on the front I've taken a vintage advertisement from an old magazine, and this is a fussy cut of some glads. This is just a little collage piece that I put together with a fussy cut. Oh, here's another mason jar made out of vintage book page and a fussy cut. This is an envelope. It's all inked up, and I left it open so that it could be sewn into a signature, and did a collage with book page and lace and a vintage image and Edith Holden fussy cut, and a little pull-out tag where I've layered up some papers, and yeah, so that's a journaling card that fits right in that envelope. Of course, all of the tag bags are going to be different. There might be tags, there might be journaling spots, there might be little booklets. All of them are going to have one of these specimen slides in it. And I think I said I had 15 or 16 of them all together. And all of these are handmade by me. Yeah, and you've probably seen me make them in videos if you're a regular watcher of my videos. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you're interested in any of these items, they are now listed on my Etsy shop. Thanks. If you have any questions, be sure to be in touch with me. I'm happy to answer any questions. And take care. I hope you're having a great weekend. We'll talk soon. These old slides. This one says 1949. I'm thinking that most of these are probably from that era. Yeah, that's 49. This one's 54. 46. So these are the 46. This one is actually Easter 1950. So it has the Easter story. This is Queen Elizabeth's coronation 1953. And this one is all cowboys 1950. So in each package there's 3 of these Viewmaster reels. Just time for them to go. What I'm saying is in there, this one being cowboys. That could be just one as a cowboy and something else. This, you know, there's no telling what's in there. Okay, now I'm done. Thanks so much. Talk to you again soon.